Okay. Woo. Oh, go live. Den Button sollte man vielleicht klicken. Hey, good morning, everyone. Now we should be live.
Hello.
Please give us signs we are. It's important. Okay, yes. We are. Hey, welcome to From Code to Clients. Angela, you want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hello. Actually, I'm in the session as a student myself this time, but I'm glad to have Stella today with a webinar coaching us to get from code to clients. It's about branding yourself, become visible in the crypto space. And we know that this is really important, particularly in token engineering, since not everybody in our space is a really social media pro, and not everybody is really a branding expert by nature. And we thought this might be a good session because if you'd like to start your token engineering career, you should be aware of your skills, your strengths, and should be able to communicate them. And this is something where I myself see a lot of potential to improve. I'm trying out new hats, as you can see in this session, and I'm looking forward to have this session with Stella. Thank you so much for running it. Excited to learn.
Yay, guys, we can do this. Actually, Angela gave the perfect introduction. I have nothing else to add, so we can just jump into the session. And I have the chat on my other screen, so I will keep an eye out on what you guys are asking, because this is definitely about doing this in an interactive manner. So I recommend you pull out a piece of paper, or I have like a document to write on out on your screen, because this is all about essentially working on your own personal branding while we walk through the session, right? So this is not meant like me lecturing you, so it's like more like me guiding you to actually already have a preliminary result after this webinar. That's kind of the idea. Some of you have already participated before in webinars with us, so you guys know it's more of a practical approach. And I only have one side sound from you connection, Stella. I checked this time stereo, so I wouldn't understand what might have gone wrong about it. But let me quickly check. Oh, actually, I cannot check. I cannot check while this is already live, I think. Wait, let me quickly check. No, it's all on stereo. So there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope you can endure, Shiro. Sorry for that. Okay. Guys, so quick introduction, okay? So some of you already know me, so I'm not going to get into that too much, but I'm originally a fashion designer. I joined the Token Engineering Academy around 8 months ago, and so all of this has brought some clarity to me that token engineers suffer from the same problem that designers suffer from when it comes to exposing their work, right? And both of us, we sometimes have really good ideas and really brilliant output, but then how to make it visible, right? How to show people we've actually done this, because you can have the greatest invention, but if no one knows about it, it's kind of problematic, right? So this is kind of what we want to work on today. And I think I don't need to, in the current job situation and market, I don't need to underline and kind of highlight how important that part is, right? It's good to learn and improve your hard skills and your soft skills, but in the age of content creation, social media just matters as much. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this out, guys, because we have a lot of work today. And I think if you want to look me up, or if you want to look up the Token Engineering Academy, also saw the Token Engineering Academy is in the chat as well. So please drop the links to the website again as well. And Isabel from our team is there. So I think you guys can take care of, guiding people further towards our different projects who are hosting the session today. So today we are doing this webinar for 5 different reasons. One is to differentiate yourselves, right? So, you know, you can be a designer, you can be a 3D generalist, like in my case, but then the one thing that makes maybe my content specifically interesting to people is that I have a niche specialty, right? In my case, that is actually programming texture maps. That's my niche specialty, okay? In like visual aesthetics description, okay? So in token engineering, that could mean like your special field is, you know, maybe you're specializing in, say something, Angela. Maybe you specialize in DAOs, right? Organizing communities. Maybe that's your specialty. Or maybe something, an example that's even deeper.
Should I respond? Because I was a little bit distracted. People were complaining about the sound, but on my end, it's fine. It seems to be fine for many others, so I hope we can continue. Sorry to be distracted. And can you repeat the question? So sorry, Stella.
I'm sorry you got distracted about, I'm so sorry, guys, but I checked the settings again. It's on stereo, so I'm really not sure how to fix this. Yeah, the question was like differentiation, right? So in my case as a designer, that is I'm a 3D generalist, so I can build everything in 3D, but at the same time I have a specialty which is texture map creation by a substance designer, right? So in, you know, you can be a token engineer, right? And generally understand how to build complex systems, but at the same time it is very valuable to have a niche specialty, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we're talking about it, I think it's a good exercise to think what this is for yourself, for everyone. Most of the time, it's pretty obvious when you look back what you have been doing and what you have enjoyed most in the past 12 months or so. And for myself, I can definitely say I love connecting the dots. Of course, I love see people grow. This is the educational arm. And I love to develop ideas from scratch. So to make things a reality that started just as a, you know, as a pitching an idea, wouldn't it be cool to ABC? And this is my specialty. And I'm sure everybody else in the call could name something as well for herself.
Yeah, it's actually true. They're already writing. So Muhammad says data science, machine learning, simulations. There was something else. Oh, NFT producer, right? So it's like, I see you guys are already having some good ideas. So keep them in mind for when we get into the exercise part. That's great. The other part why we're doing this is for credibility, right? So the more visible you become to other people, the more credible you will also seem to other people because you have put yourself out there, right? So people automatically kind of assume if you're very out there, it also means at the same time, so it's a double-sided sword, you're very vulnerable, right? So the more popularity you get, it always comes also with a little bit of a downside. So on Instagram, for example, I have a lot of trolling to deal with, right? Whenever I show my face, there are at least 10 people who tell me how bad my face looks. So just saying, you know, it always comes a little bit with of a downside, but as long as you know that is not why you're doing this and you can like confidently, you know, just ignore those people who have nothing better to do, you're all good, right? Then there's networking. So if you're out there, right, and have you made yourself credible, networking will come so much easier to you. That's the other thing why we're doing this. Career development goes in the same direction, and obviously personal fulfillment. So if you've already learned and accomplished learning, you know, something complex as token engineering, right, then it's also really nice to understand that other people value your opinion or they find your skills valuable. And that also plays into you feeling better about yourself, usually. So it's kind of a combination of 5 things that touch like different fields in how we humans work and function, right? So what are we going to do today? Let's summarize quickly. So we're going to define your personal brand and why it matters. how to choose platforms that best suits your goal, because depending on what you want to do, where you want to communicate, and where your audience sits, the platform might change, right? How to create a profile for yourself that represents you and your unique skill set best, and how to start building an audience and attract potential new clients. So quickly looking at the chat before we actually really jump in, because that was the introduction. Checking here. Oh. Digital. We have some digital designers here. Artem also says only one speaker is working. I'm so sorry, guys. I can try one more thing. Does this change anything? I don't think so, no? No? Yeah, I figured. I'm so sorry. I will definitely investigate for next time. But right now I'm beat. I don't know how to change this. Okay, otherwise, what else do we have here? Couldn't specializations be according to the applications, like DeFi, DAOs, incentives, NFT? Yeah, sure. Sound is okay. Everyone says they cannot hear me. I don't know what to do. Because everything is like, look, even my audio interface is like on 100%. Please don't cry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you, just to confirm.
You can hear me well, right?
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the settings one more time, just to check, maybe also with you guys together. But this is set to stereo, so unless I missed something really crucial, I don't know what to change here. And it's worked before with the same settings.
Yeah. YouTube sound is okay. So it seems to work for most of the people in the call. And yeah, let's continue. We record this, right? So.
Wow. And I have even a real microphone. It's not working well, and I have a real microphone and a meeting interface. So, damn, guys. Okay, just bear with us. Just bear with us. Bear with me.
Thanks everyone for consulting in the chat. This is really encouraging. Nothing worse than technical problems when you sorted out your agenda. So
good. Okay.
You know,
then
carefully, Estella.
Yeah, I think too. Let's focus on the stuff that matters. And next time I will try to fix this. However, okay. So let's start with defining your personal brand. Okay. Has kind of like 3 chapters to it. So let's discuss why this is important. I think we've done this before, so we're not going to go through it again unless you have questions about this. I'm just quickly checking, but I think we're good on that end. And yes, as you mentioned, Tiago, I think specialties can be defined by you, right? It's not like, especially in a discipline that is so new, right, as token engineering is, I think it is totally fine to define those specialties right now and make them your own, right? As long as they provide value, obviously. If they don't provide value, you're dealing with another problem, right? Provide examples of successful personal brands in the token engineering space. Actually, Angela and I talked about this, and it is rather hard, to be honest. It is rather hard to have like really good examples. One that we talked about is Griff Green's profile. I think we were uniting on this, right? Like Griff Green does a really good job at being really out there, very present, and his specialty is, he has made his specialty very known. It's public goods. That's what Griff Green stands for, right? So that's something to look at. Have you seen other examples, or have you thought about more examples that you thought were like worth taking a look at? And you're like, no?
Yeah, we see great suggestions in the chat, actually. Michael Sargam, and as one of the thought leaders of token engineering as well, and now more into DAO, organizational theory. And Taran Chitra is a great example, Gauntlet's founder.
True. Also, now it slipped my mind. But there was someone else I thought of the other day, and I was like, oh, this is also a good example to bring up. But all of them have one thing in common, right? It's they have made something very specific their niche, and they keep talking about it. So point is consistency, right? The more consistent you are in communicating what you stand for, the better or the easier people will pick up on it. The more, an error or a mistake that I did in the beginning on my social media journey, I was like all over the place. I was like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. You know, my ADHD totally took over. And that's a problem, right? It's nice that you like different things. This is like the complexity of a human in general. But just know social media algorithms don't like complexity. They like niche, right? And they like consistency. So that is something you should definitely focus on. So after you've found your niche, right, even the content you communicate, make it very consistent, very focused on that niche. Good. So I did pull up some examples, I feel. Oh, actually, let me quickly drop this worksheet, because this is kind of a workboard, okay? So I want you guys to have access to this. Obviously, it's only a read-only link, right? So you cannot edit, so don't even try. So the idea is that you have access to this even after our webinar is over, and you can go through these things again. And so in inspiration and examples, I actually put a few links that are quite helpful, right? Because one part is obviously the content, but the other part is also how do you communicate that content. So let's just say you wanna specialize in onboarding new people, right? Then maybe going on a hunt where there is not a lot of people yet around doing that kind of format, like Instagram. Instagram is not very well known for token engineering, right? Then you might want to consider a very graphic and very visual format. So I put some ideas in here. You can go through them on your own time. It's nothing you have to do right now, right? The other part is, these little bios that we can put in Twitter, that we can put in LinkedIn, that we can put in Instagram. No matter which social platform you usually choose, you have these little bios, right? And so here is something very important to understand in general for all of them, right? Because I often see that in the Web3 space, and I'm not free from that, by the way. I often see in the Web3 space that there is like a queue of like different expertises, okay? It's like, this is the bio, and it's like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and I'm this, right? And so that's actually not very healthy. Ideally, you have like this one thing, or let's say two things in there of who you are as a professional, and then you conclude this with a call to action. So it's like, hey, I'm a token engineer with a specialty in conceptualizing DAOs, okay? Book a meeting with me for a free consultancy, 15 minutes on my Calendly, and then you put your Calendly link or ideally your link aggregator, but we will get to that part. So like this, it's not just like who you are professionally speaking, but it's at the same time, it's a call to action. Hey, I'm this, and you should meet me, right? It's not just this one thing. So that's something really important to understand about bio examples, and this is why I put these links here. So on your own time, you can go through them and think about how you formulate your own little bio in accordance to that. Then actually, right before the webinar started, this is right now the point, I'm going to put in a new link here. Angela and I talked about how it is important to understand who you are as a person, because if you understand who you are as a person, then formulating everything concerning personal branding will become definitely much more easy to you. So one way of doing this is, and I just put this here, I will also put it in the chat, so you guys could, I don't know, just call this up in the tab if you want. It's a free personality test. Some of you might have already, because we have some of my team members in here. I've definitely forced some of you to do it. and I'm not sorry for it. So this free personality test is kind of really cool because it will confirm some of the things you already knew about yourself, because you're probably not absolutely blind to your own personality. But there are other things where you're like, oh wow, no surprise, I'm acting or I'm being motivated by this and this, right? Rather than by, let's say, by money, right? So it kind of gives you more clarity on how you work. Because here's another trick about personal branding. As much as I love, my team and I, we look at like TikTok trends all the time, for example. And it's really fun, and we always think like, oh, we should do something like this. But if it doesn't fit your profile, right, then don't do it. You don't have to jump on every other trend, because again, that can become a very double-sided sword, where you become very famous for like this one thing that you did in this one video, but that's actually not the thing you want to be known for. So really consider careful which trend train you're gonna jump on, okay? This is something to always be aware of. Let's see, who just joined? Maximilian just joined. Great observation. Oh, what did Rohan say? Angela tops the list. Oh, you're on top of that list. Angela, did you see that? Also, I love, there's already some movement on the canvas, so that's good. You guys can just, check this out. It's all yours. Okay, so let's move on to, so after you've kind of done the personality test, you will probably be very aware which of these brand archetypes you fit under, right? So to make this easier, obviously there is a real article about this, so I recommend reading that. But also the short descriptions will give you a very good overview on like which is the one, or usually it's like 2 or 3 archetypes that resonate with you, right? And so for example, let's just say, right, you're the explorer. So someone like, this is one of my archetypes. I'm curious, actually, Angela, since you're a victim of this course as well, what do you think you are?
I am jumped on this 16 personalities test, I'm in the midst of it.
This is so good. I'm so proud. Okay, cool. Who else is doing the test? Oh, Kuala, you should be able to. What do you mean you cannot click on the cards? Can you elaborate? Because you cannot move anything like I can, right? But you should be able to look at everything. Oh, Kuala is a INFG. Okay. What? I'm an E. Oh, Rohan says he's an ENTJ. Oh, Isabel is also doing this now. Oh, you guys are all doing this right now. This is great. Okay, cool. That's the spirit, guys. You can do this. You can totally do this. I can actually, let's, in the meantime, I can expose a little bit myself. Because, so this is how I organize myself, by the way, right? This is my, but we will go through this after again, so don't worry about it right now. I just wanted to show you my personality traits. So here it comes. Also team, in case I see like at least 5 people from the team here. So I am an ENFJ. This is me. Yeah, Kuala. Yeah, this is true. There is nothing clickable besides the links. That's true. Nothing clickable. Otherwise, you would need to be an editor. I sadly cannot risk that. I'm sorry. Hope you understand. Oh, Tiago is an ISFJ. Okay. Oh, thank you, Maximilian. Yeah, it's these are my traits. I'm what they call a protagonist. I'm a protagonist. And yeah, I've ADHD took over again. But I found this test very helpful. Who are here all coming to the bar camp in Paris? Everyone should come to the bar camp in Paris. If you're even close, you should go. Estefania, yeah, I know, you too. Nice, guys. Kalau, good morning. Yeah, actually, Kalau and Rohan, you guys should meet. Kalau lives in Paris, Rohan. She should give you a tour. Okay, so Angela, how are you doing as our personal branding Guinea pig?
Yeah, I'm still, I still haven't finished the test because I'm now distracted with the messages. Oh yes, who's going to be in Paris? Yeah, let's go ahead.
Actually, the chat is really, really active. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Monica from Brazil is here as well. Good morning. And my dog is participating as well from the living room, as you guys can hear. So he's a very, Niels usually calls him token engineering dog. He's convinced the dog is actually studying with us. So who knows? You know, who knows? Yeah, Rohan. Kalau, I will connect the both of you on Discord. You guys should definitely hang out together. Yeah, okay. You guys give me a sign, right, when you're ready to move on to the next thing, because otherwise I'm going to wait for a little bit until you guys finish your tests, because it's kind of an important step, I think. Baron, it's not that bad. I got my framework set now, so it works. But you know, it just shows in these kind of things. It just shows, and I find it these days. I find it a little bit hilarious. But thanks for like, yeah. Kuala is like, let's move on. Okay, let's move on, girl. Let's do it. Okay. So yeah, next step is looking at the brand archetypes after you concluded your test, and seeing which of those resonate with you, because they will kind of determine, right? Here's the thing, these are all guides. Don't think like a personality test does not define who you are, neither those brand archetypes do define who you are, right? You define who you are, okay? Just putting this out there so we're clear on it. They are meant as like guides to get you started and support you in your journey, right? But they don't define you. You define how you want to use them. So, for example, let's just say, right, you're the explorer. I'm going to my favorite example. I can see little Carlos. Look, Carlos on here. You're the lover. Are you sure? The explorer, right? And so it gives you some ideas, right? So here's some famous brands that are being named, like the North Face, Jeep, Patagonia. So all of these things, they offer you, I want to say they offer you an access to do further research, right? So the brand voice is like exciting, fearless, daring, right? So when you think about it, translating this to, for example, a tone of voice and how you write, right? It means you can be a little bit, you know, leaning yourself out the window. Obviously not telling, you know, lies. It's not about being not truthful, right? But it's like how you write, your tone of voice, right? You could get some guidance from that. I hope, sorry, I hope this helps a little bit. The explorer, yeah, 6 euro is all for it. I'm definitely not the lover, I am the fighter. Okay, Lauren says, I'm the outlaw and everyman. Okay, that's really good, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, you're right, Rowan. I really need to come and visit you. This is out of a question by now. I just need to find time to do it. But yeah, so if you look through these, right, they are meant as guidance once more. So use them accordingly, and then take them as initial source of inspiration to go to the next step. So I made this little document on here, which is kind of like a step-by-step on how we're approaching this now, right? So who are you as a, so this is essentially a set of, I want to say 7 questions that I've formulated, which will help you to bring more insights to like who you are as a personal brand, right? Because the personal brand is still not you as a human necessarily, right? It can be. There is, there is this thing where it could be. But for example, if you look at my personal Instagram account is my professional one. Will you see me sharing necessarily a lot about my personal life? No. Okay? So this is something you can define. You can be very out there without, sharing, videos of your children, right? This is a choice, again, that you make. So here is the set of questions that I want you guys to go and take the time. This is something we should definitely spend some time on. Also, Angela. So pull out a document, okay? And please, let's go through these questions. So who are you as a human and a token engineer? Think about who you are as a person and what you want to be known for. Consider your values, passions, and areas of expertise. Use this information to create a brand persona that reflects your unique identity and sets you apart from others in your field. So just think about this, and you don't have to write full sentences. This is really about putting some bullet points on a paper, okay? Can you try and do this? Angela, can you try and do this?
On it.
Good. Okay. The sphere keeps going. Oh, Mario says he's the campaigner. Oh, that's nice. Campaigners are cool. Actually, while you guys start doing these exercises, I'm going to pull out some. Yeah, I'm actually also I'm such a digital person, but I really love books. Well, you can probably tell. Because this is not advertisement, because no one paid me to pull these out, okay? But these are some books that have helped me a lot, so I want to share them with you. So exercising starts now. So you do exercise, I pull out books. Okay, so one book that I found very helpful honestly in many contexts is this one. It's called Culture Map, The Culture Map, and it's written by a woman called Erin Meyer, and it is about essentially how to understand how different cultures communicate and in what scale they do. So the more insights you have about that, the easier it gets to communicate things, right? So highly recommendable, especially if you work in a field like token engineering, where you have a lot to deal with different cultures and people coming from very different backgrounds, right? I found this book to be helpful in many, many ways. Oh, okay. Executive, logician. Oh, nice, Niels, logician. That's a rare one, I feel. And also, thank you, Lauren, for putting the book in there. The Culture Map, Erin Meyer. Yeah, that's it. So thank you for that. This one, honestly, I've read sparingly, so I've not read like the entire book, but like excerpts from the book. But this one is really good. Also, in case it comes the wrong side again, let me put this in the chat. The 9 types of leader. And then there's this one. So generally speaking, the Harvard Business Review Emotional Intelligence series is a pretty good one. This one is dealing with difficult people. And it makes you aware that you yourself are also very difficult to deal with. So it's not always the others, right? So I found this one very helpful. Going to put this in the chat as well. Maybe you want to drop the references also in the Mila note. Yeah, I will put them also in the Mila note board. You're right. So by the way, I'm recommending this one because it comes with practical examples of real life situations. This is why this one is interesting. Because if you look at real life examples on how humans interact, then at least it helps me to understand better. But yeah, maybe that's just me. So yeah, I think those three are have been very helpful to me. So they might be helpful to you. So I don't know how far you've gotten in the meantime, while I'm blah-blahing. How are you doing, Angela?
Okay, so there is a little time delay, so I hope I got everything. I now went through the exercise. So who am I? What's my elevator pitch? Right? This is the card. Okay, good. Should I just say what I've written down?
Oh yes, please. If you can share, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so but actually I would love to hear other elevator pitch. Mine is, who am I, founder of TE Academy? I guess I'm much more, but this is what I share in context of token engineering. Steering activity in the token engineering community is my specialty, and my elevator pitch. My target audience is the crypto ecosystem and people who still most of the time don't know that much about token engineering. That's why I'm trying to evangelize the sector. And my elevator pitch is, I founded TE Academy and built the first comprehensive course in this new crypto native sector, TE Fundamentals, with more than 2,400 students enrolled after 9 months only, and now building AI-powered token engineering is a new platform for token engineering models, AI agents, and data for simulations. And that's, of course, something I told everybody a lot, and that's why it comes pretty natural. I would have struggled a lot 2 years ago or so. I'm keen to hear others or read other elevator pitches and how you describe yourself.
Yeah, guys, please, if you have already gotten to the elevator pitch, then share with us. It's really interesting to hear how other people formulate their pitches. So you can kind of take reference from them, or also know what you don't want to do, right? Sometimes it's also about that part. I think, Estefania, you were asking about the author of this book. This is kind of like an essay collection by the Harvard Business Review, but Lauren is right. I will put those into the board after the webinar, so don't worry if you didn't get them. I will make sure you have them. Okay, so Angela, then next task. Try solving your bio issue, because actually, this is a good question. How does your bio look right now? Should we take a peek? I think your bio is quite clean, isn't it?
My bio in social media.
That's,
I think
yeah?
This is definitely not clean, because I think my bio is wherever you find me, my bio looks different, and that's probably not ideal.
No, that's not ideal. You're absolutely right. But like I told you, I'm not free from this either. I need to clean up much more. But look, this is not bad. Like, this is very much on point, right? The only thing that's missing is essentially your call to action. This is very clear. Founder of there's actually something that Caitlin said, and we changed in the We changed also in our in our graphics that we prepared. She was like, "Hey, how is someone supposed to know what TE Academy is?" Right?
The TE, what's the
So
TE in this name? Yeah.
Yeah, so you might want to switch this up to actually putting the website into the according,
Yeah. Let me
space
take
for
notes.
it, and say founder of the Token Engineering Academy, right? Teaching or organizing, or what you said before in your elevator pitch, right? Organizing activities around token engineering, and then a call to action. Visit us on, or visit, learn more here, and then tag the website. Something like this maybe. And you get it like
Great.
more concise and on point. Yeah, you can do this. I'm so proud of everyone in here, like doing this right now, right here. So it's really good.
Wait.
Okay. Niels, how are you doing? Niels is always super active when it comes to exercises. I'm wondering, how are you doing right now? So Varun writes elevator pitch, layer 2, Ethereum scaling, crypto econ. That's not an elevator pitch, my friend. This is very cryptic. So when you think elevator pitches also live from. So this is why is an elevator pitch called an elevator pitch, right? Because you're supposed to explain your project in less than 30 seconds to a person who has no idea what you are doing. So you're already, if you put this as an elevator pitch, you're already assuming that this person understands what crypto is, understands what a layer 2 is, right? And understands what Ethereum scaling means. So that's a lot of assumptions to put in an elevator pitch. Elevator pitches are meant to be kept very accessible. Just think, these book series like Internet for Dummies or Excel for Dummies? Think in that context, right? Think that the person across from you has no idea. Oh, Niels, don't be sorry. Oh God, you don't have to be sorry. Also, yeah, ouch, sorry, Varun. But I know you're trying. I hope it helped, so you can try and reformulate. Oh, Kuala, that's no problem. Take it easy. Like, you don't have to. Also, don't think of this exercise as like you do this once, right? And after that, you have solved your problem indefinitely. You don't. I go over this again and again. I want to say in a rhythm of at least 4 times a year, because stuff keeps changing, and token engineering specifically is a new field, but it develops like in such an exponential way. So don't be sorry about it. Think of it as where you are right now, right? So you're a learner. I still call myself a token engineering apprentice, because I feel I'm still not there. I still have to conclude chapter 5. I still have some exams that I want to take, right? So judge this from where you're standing now, not where you need to be, right? Where you think you need to pressure yourself to be at, okay? So take it easy on yourself as well. Muhammad, complex systems engineer, data science, AI and blockchain, decentralized intelligence systems. Okay. Yeah. When you say AI and blockchain, right? Those are buzzwords. Unless there's something really specific about it, maybe you might want to make this a little bit shorter and rather put this into a full sentence, okay? So complex systems engineer and data scientist, for example. How can we, Stella, can you evaluate a bio with these keywords? Complex systems engineer, data. Yeah, we're on it. I know there's a delay, but we're on it. Yeah, I think complex systems engineer and data scientist working in the field of decentralized intelligence systems based on blockchain. something around this, right? Think of it as like, you're not, you know, in a bio, you're not trying to output code, right? You're trying to communicate to another human being. So think of it as like one sentence that, you know, wraps it all up in a nice little package with a bow. Think of it like that. Neil says, bridging the gap between token economics and the academic world. Love that. That's a very on-point thing. Can you bring in your profession as well? So the only thing, Niels, that you're missing right now is, I think, putting your profession in there as well, right? So like Angela said, like a founder of the Token Engineering Academy, right? And then essentially describing what you're doing as such. So that could help. But great, guys, I'm super proud of you. This is going really well. Good job. Building and validating decentralized economies. Yeah, this is good. Again, Tiago, can you try and find like, you know, I want to say find a drawer for your profession so people have an easier time categorizing you. Sounds so sad, but this is how the world works. Stella, how many keywords should be in a bio? It's the same take with specialization, 1 or 2 words. I think, yeah, one profession ideally, and then you could elaborate with, you know, the specialization in like 1 to 4 words. But main thing is it becomes one sentence. I think that's really important. Economist and token engineering apprentice. Okay, cool. And then complete that, Niels. Complete that. So economist and token engineering apprentice, bridging the gap between token economies and the academic world. That's really great. That's a really great bio, and honestly, it's already an elevator pitch for your personal brand. This is great. Good job. Token engineer in process, economist, airdrop expert. So, like, everyone loves a good airdrop, right? But also, it's a little bit of a contaminated word right now. So maybe avoid that, writing that in your bio right now. Or find something that explains maybe the technology behind it, rather than using the buzzword, right? We have to be, especially if we want to talk to people in Web 2 as well, depending on, you know, this is where we get to the whole audience thing. But yeah, let's be careful about using too many buzzwords in our bios, right? Still consider, like, for example, platforms such as LinkedIn, they are filled with people who only watch mainstream media, right? And they will put you really easily in a box where you never wanted to belong and where you are honestly don't fit just because you're using the wrong buzzword. So be careful about that. My elevator pitch. I'm founder of Love for You Academy, a hub of education and innovation for Web3. We aim to co-create the future of education for business and creative professionals. Yeah, okay, that's good. Sorry, I know. Co-create. Portuguese found its way in there, Monica. You cannot hide. The Portuguese people have the most beautiful language on the planet, so you cannot hide. Angela, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I am enjoying the elevator pitches of others, and it's super helpful, to have this input because it's actually a simple exercise, but can be so hard getting lost in the details. Everyone wants to share about him or herself.
Yeah, it really is. When you sit with this alone, I mean, we talked about this right before the webinar started. We were saying that, you know, it almost feels sometimes if you're working on this by yourself, someone sends you like, hey, we want to invite you to speak. And they're like, hey, can you send us a little bio about yourself? And you're like, you know, like this little piece of fear. This is actually, this is a good point because I think some people are still working on it. Pitch 2, understanding the evolution of the internet economics, governance, and all the other facets of society. Web 3 is set to disrupt, oh my God, there's so much new coming in. Is set to disrupt, keen on contributing to the progress of modern civilization? Yeah, definitely, I want to say better than the first one, but it can still use some refinement from my point of view. What do you think, Angela? Can Varun still improve?
Varun, actually, I must say, you posted about your journey and your sabbatical. I think it was you, wasn't it? And I felt this was a great example because you managed to share what you've been doing. And then a call to action, please reach out to me in case you're looking for ABC. This was
okay, so maybe
cool
something
one
to go back to and kind of re-examine with this new input, huh? Okay, that's interesting. Escape, or ESC, says mainstream audiences resonate with phrases like blockchain technology and distributed ledger. Oh, interesting. Okay. If you know, like, because you're putting this in quotation marks, I guess there is a source for this. So please don't be stingy. Share that source with us. Mario got his message retracted. Not sure why. I'm sorry. In my case, I have a lot of interest in behavioral economics, but I don't have a certificate to show expertise on the field. Any idea how to express my interest in the field? Maybe, actually, let Angela speak. Maybe you have an idea
okay.
how.
Yeah, first of all, Mario, that's so typical because in Web3, people are bringing up topics that suddenly you see, a connection to what you have been doing in the past, and you get excited about a certain topic. This was, by the way, how I entered token engineering. And then I think it's a good first point could be drawing a line between what you have been doing in the past and behavioral economics, because I'm sure there's a reason why you are excited about it. And it can be that even in behavioral economics is something that you have been missing in your past work, and you make your point why you think it's relevant, and then share your thoughts, drawing lines between what you've been doing in the past. I think you'll find something. I'm pretty confident, even without having certificates, and it can be the starting point for then sharing more in your journey learning behavioral economics. Just some thoughts.
Yeah, this is also, I think, where we could do a little bit of a cross jump quickly, to be honest. So I don't necessarily like to do these things, but I think it fits in here, so why not, right? So one of the most important things after you've kind of defined where you want to take your personal profile and what you want to talk, the next part is like, what do you want to talk about, right? And how can you kind of categorize these things? So we call them content pillars, right? So what's the stuff you want to talk about? And which platform do you choose to talk about on, right? So you can see here a little bit of, I jumped into this profile before, so this is how I organize myself. Here's like my profile. So for example, if someone asks me for my bio, it's literally a one-click copy paste action, right? Which is helpful if you have that at hand. And then you have here like content pillars. So something where I define for myself, and you see this is like, for example, Instagram, it's really focused on design. Where the focus is on, right? So here the focus is on process. Here's the focus on process. Here is the focus supposed to be on results, right? So for example, when it comes to behavioral economics, I feel like you could even share like, new learnings that you have found and you want to share with other people in your community. You could share about like you found a new learning, but then maybe you're of a different opinion. You could state why that is, or make your statement, make your point, right? All of these things count as content. So it's really up to you what excites you the most to talk about, and that kind of will help you to define those content pillars. But yeah, we can also go back to this in a second again. Let's go to choosing your platform, because this is our next step here. So there are a lot of different platforms, right? There's LinkedIn, obviously. I know a lot of you, or not all of you, actually, are on LinkedIn. There's still Instagram, still, getting like huge traction. There's Twitter. There is, obviously Discord, even though it's closed. There are new platforms. I was introduced yesterday by Maximilian to a very new platform called Remix. Then there is TikTok, obviously, right? So how do you know what to choose? It's really hard, right? It's like, do I choose what everyone else chooses? So let's say most of Web3 is always on Twitter. So do I focus all of my energy on Twitter, right? Or do I go out of my way and try to talk to an audience that has not been talked to before? That's something we're trying to do with Alana, right? So the Alana project is really focused, like most of our content is originally created for Instagram. It's not because there is a huge, Web3 builder community on Instagram. It's because there is not, right? This is why we're doing this. So again, this is a personal choice you have to take. It's not an easy one. But maybe we can ask Angela, how did you make this choice for yourself? Like, or what is the platform choice? Yeah, what's the platform you use most of the time, and how did you make that choice?
Okay. Actually, the platform that I'm using most of the time is Discord, because there I am in direct contact with everyone at the Academy and also many of partners and ecosystem people. Yeah, that's actually the most relevant platform for myself. And Twitter, of course, because there is so much going on. Yeah, and LinkedIn, not that much. This is my platform choice.
Sounds good. Okay. Muhammad, do you want to? I actually know that one. Would you mind putting the link in the chat as well, so people can easily reference it? The token engineering framework from Outlier Ventures. If you think that's helpful, you should definitely include it. So yeah. So I put a little bit of a summary in here about the different platforms, right? And what they do, and not so much how they work, because all of them change their algorithms all the time, to be honest. And usually there is a release on how the algorithms have changed. So Twitter changed its algorithm, I would say, 2.5 months ago, something like this, and then they published it, I think, 2 months ago. So here are some insights for those of you who want to grow on Twitter, right? So everything applies that I said before. Keep it niche, keep it consistent, right? There is not as much pressure on constant posting, but there is pressure on like regular posting, okay? So you cannot expect to perform well on this platform if you're posting the first Monday of the month and the last Thursday of the month. Okay, this is not, it's sadly a truth. It will not necessarily bring you growth. So if you want to grow on these platforms, you need to keep it consistent. Post every second day, right? Make sure to interact, because interactions count on Twitter. So if you're just pushing out content, but you're not interacting, then, again, you will not be pushed as high. Another truth is they have added a better video and image experience, because posts that contain images and that contain videos will be pushed higher in the algorithm. But all of these things, they are not a secret, so you can actually look them up for the individual platforms. Most platforms actually publish this. And then I added some other things on here. I added Telegram, I don't think I added WhatsApp, because I was like, I really don't care too much. But for example, Telegram and WhatsApp both have a functionality now in which you can organize communities, right? So if your personal brand involves, wanting to have a Discord, wanting to have, something to like a community hub in comparison, then depending on your audience, so for example, Kathy Hackel, the metaverse writer or researcher, she organizes her people all on WhatsApp, because a lot of them are companies and individuals from companies out of Web 2, right? So she has decided to choose WhatsApp to make that access so much easier. So this is something to consider, right? So where's your audience? And then if your audience is on Twitter, then, for example, or any other platform, look up the algorithm and make sure you start implementing, a lot of these recommended behaviors into how you post. It's well, I don't make the rules, let's just say. I know it's a little bit annoying, but it's part of the truth. So, anything else in the chat, Angela? By interacting, you mean likes and retweets or even comments? Yeah, I mean, obviously genuine stuff, right? I'm not telling you guys to just randomly, retweet stuff, right? But like, look for people who have like similar ideas, similar goals, or maybe are even, I remember, Rohan is a huge fan of Michael Zarkam, right? I'm quite an admirer of, no, I'm not going to go there. But point is that, follow those people, right? Because first of all, they are already delivering content that you're anyway interested in, right? And sharing that will definitely not hurt you. Join, be on the social media of the Token Engineering Academy, right? This is where you guys are learning, and you can share a lot of great content that they are putting together. So I think all of these interactions, they will eventually help us to grow. So don't be afraid of it. Do you mean the token ecosystem creation frame? Oh yeah, Muhammad, if you can, please put the link. Everyone is asking for the link. Okay. And then there's something else that, hi Anna, there's something else that I want to talk about. So one part is the social media profiles. The other part is a link aggregator. I've seen this now a lot with creators and token engineers alike. You guys don't use link aggregators, even though they can be so useful, okay? And link aggregators are no longer what they used to be, right? They're not ugly, they're actually quite pretty. So for the designers among the audience that I've spotted. So just to show you Alana's example, right? You can actually really nicely structure a link aggregator these days. I even dare to call it a mini website, right? So for example, here we have onboard. So these are different tabs, right? So for example, here's the webinar, right? Yes, by the way, here are the donation badges, but I will get to that later. There's some other stuff, right? Then on the last tab of this, we have organized the partners. So for example, the Token Engineering Academy. So this is a link aggregator, but at the most simple and free format of this, you can have 2 pages, and you can aggregate all of your different social media profiles into one thing, right? That makes it so much easier to share. So you no longer have to choose between, oh, do I give this person my Twitter or my LinkedIn, right? Oh, my profile is more complete on LinkedIn, but I'm most of the time not checking my LinkedIn. I'm active on messages on Twitter. You don't have to think about this anymore because whoever you're talking to will have access to everything. And that's the link you should put into your bio, right? Because this is where your call to action should be ideally connected to. You want people to look at all the good stuff that you have to offer, right? Be it like maybe your last written article or your last recorded podcast or your best performing post on Twitter, right? There's a lot of things that people can get to in like a glance of an eye if you have a link aggregator attached to this. And they usually are optimized for phones, so they load pretty fast. You're keeping an eye on the chat, right, Angela? I can always see your eyes wandering off. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good, okay. So 2 choices, right? One is like, what's your primary platform? Decide today, ideally for your primary platform, where you think your audience is that you want to talk to. That's one thing. The other thing is, look at different link aggregators. So I put in here, I'm obviously very biased. I have tried many, and I've come to the conclusion that I like Beacons the best. Again, not advertisement, but this is just, the conclusion I came to. it's also because you can, there comes the designer, right? You can design it in a way where it will be visually recognizable. So never underestimate if you also keep visuals very, aligned or on brand, let's just say. I know this is the next level for many of you, so we're not going into deep this today, don't worry. But the more you keep using like one form of visuals, the more recognizable your content will become, right? So that's another layer to it. And so the other choice you need to make is like some form of link aggregator. Don't just rely on having a LinkedIn profile here and a Twitter profile there, and then, your private Discord that people are supposed to join somewhere in the hidden depths of the internet, right? Make it obvious what you want people to look at and do it in a very concise format, which would be a link aggregator. There is, there's tons of them out there. There's a Linktree, I'm pretty sure some of you are already using it. But like I said, my personal preference is beacons. So how are you doing, Angela? How are you doing on your
listening? You pitched the link aggregators a couple of times to me, and I think it's time to try it out for me.
Yeah, that would be good, I think. Also, the Token Engineering Academy actually has a visual branding, right? So for you guys, it's pretty easy to set up. I think if you're doing this the first time, you're like, what color to choose, what to do with this, what to do with that. It gets a little bit daunting, right? But again, don't feel afraid about it. By the way, the best recommendation for if you have no feeling whatsoever for colors or design or typography, keep it as simple as possible. If you keep it black and white and choose the most legible font, you will be better off than going all crazy on it, right? So for those of you who are not, who don't feel like they're hidden designers at heart, right? Make sure to just go with the most easy option. Black, white, and something like Helvetica for a font. And you're good. Yeah, it will look clean, it will look legible, it will serve your purpose. You don't have to overdo it. Oh, Angela, need your opinion on this. I think token engineering is a very broad term which has many subdomains. Subdomains which we are trying to classify are based on functionality, DeFi, metaverse, etc. So what do you think?
Okay, two things here. I think when it comes to, you talk about token engineering as a discipline, and then also this relates to your personal skills, I would rather say it's about subdomains in terms of either business modeling, stakeholder motivations, behavioral economics, and then the design discovery area of token engineering, the modeling and simulation sector, the data sector. So it's rather tied to specific areas of expertise. On the other hand, the token space, like the crypto sector and its industries, could be classified in the sectors you've mentioned: DeFi, metaverse, NFTs, gaming. But I would suggest for branding, I would take these two different lenses. And both are relevant for your branding, but one look at the subdomains of the discipline of this knowledge area, and on the other hand, look at the crypto sector subdomains or subsectors, subverticals.
I think that was a really good answer. Thank you. He also wrote, which is not correct, because I think classifying you based on your expertise is more appropriate. I think Angela is right. It's more also about how you phrase it and put it in context to each other. And yeah, it's sadly an individual tailoring. I wish I could just do it for all of you in one go. That would be so much easier. Okay, cool. So. Yeah, I see Niels being stuck on this one. Don't take this to heart, right? You can always change. I've been shifting around multiple times because I was like, Twitter is so important for Web3. But I was like, But a lot of people are already talking on Twitter about this. How about I talk on some other platforms about it? So yeah, don't take this too hard. And it's also about experimentation. I keep experimenting, right? I had my meeting with the girls on Sunday, and we were like, yeah, let's try this, right? There is always something new you would want to try and figure out if it works. So see this as like, think of this as a social media laboratory, okay? It's all about experimenting and figuring out what is working well for you. So also if you know, sometimes I put in so much work for like this one video, which barely has results, and I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed out, right? Because I spent so much time on it, and I assumed it would work so well, and then, you know, the most ridiculous kind of things work, right? This is the stuff that sometimes works the best, which is kind of sad. But you know, it's a truth, and you understand this better as you go and experiment with different ideas. So yeah, don't think you have to set this all in stone, and then you will never touch this again. So yeah, if you guys feel okay about it, I would say let's set up the link aggregator, and let's just do this. So if you guys want to do us a favor, which I said, you don't have to, right? But if you want to do us a favor, you would choose this link to sign up if you're choosing beacons. Again, there is no need to choose beacons. You can choose Linktree, you can just go on Google and be like, hey, what are the best link aggregators, right? We can actually do this right now. Best link aggregators. And then just see. So backlinked, apparently. Copify, right? It's not like I'm recommending any of these, right? But yeah, you can, you know, check them out and see like which are the ones that the news aggregator. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for link aggregators. Social media aggregators, maybe that is the better search term, to be honest. So here we have some. Okay, I'm gonna put this link also in the chat so you guys can take a look at this as well. So there's many different options out there, right? But like I said, my personal conclusion has, after much testing, has come to beacons. Also because they, funny enough, they are actually very much Web 2, but they do have a community hub. So even though they are Web 2, they have somewhat of also the inner ways that they are working. It feels sometimes very Web 3. Sometimes I have to laugh about it. I'm like, oh man, for a Web 2 company, you know, some of the approaches kind of feels Web 3. So yeah, if you go into, so I'm just going to show you how this looks for me, okay, and kind of guide you quickly through the user interface, so you have an idea how you can set things up pretty fast and just get started, because there's also this thing, all of us are like, oh, we have so much like more important stuff to do, let's push this off, right? So that's not the idea. So first of all, once you've logged in, you're being welcomed with a screen, right? So they make this pretty easy for you, where you can go through all of these different areas and set it up. I already had done this with my own profile, so I knew what I wanted to do. So if you go to link in bio, this is where you find your different pages. Like I said, you can have 2 pages for free. Everything beyond that, you will need to pay for. It's not an unsum that you have to invest. I think it's something like $8 per month or something, but it's still money. So just go with 2 pages. You could even start with 1. That's good enough, okay? And then when you say add block, I have a lot of different things to choose from, so don't get overwhelmed. Your best friends, I think, are links, Twitter, right? Direct Twitter integration. And I want to say email and SMS if you're, if you're trying to communicate something bigger. Images and headers are great. Individual text is great. Spacing and dividers work really great into like layouting, right? You can even include buy me a coffee. So just saying, many options, which also get sorted again into like content, monetization, audience building, layout, and integrations. And they're working with, I want to say, a rapid prototyping approach. So they build tools very fast and new additions, which is really helpful. Then there's email marketing. So if you enable this, you will actually be able to send out emails. This is kind of nice. So it's an active integration. But for now, in your case, just focus on my pages, set the content up, go to the design, right? And see how you can already choose something like pre-made. So I don't want to select anything right now because I have, customized everything. But you could go with tuxedo or go with midnight, right? It's totally fine. It works. You don't have to go crazy to make this look good. And you can choose the individual colors. So you click on this, you can type the hex code or select the color on the board. Also, not going to do this right now. I have chosen JetBrains Mono because this is essentially a typography that is closest to the general brand guidelines for Alana. But you guys can choose, I said before, right, Helvetica. Helvetica is such a safe bet. So if you have not already set out on like one specific font for your brand, try to go with something very legible, right? Try to avoid something like Berkshire Swash, right? Quicksand is still okay, but I want to say those three, try to avoid even this one and go with something that's really clean and legible. So Roboto would do Helvetica, Jost, Mulish. I don't know if this is the real name, but Mulish. Mulish sounds like bullish. That's kind of hilarious. Oh, you have switched, Maximilian. That's good to know. Okay, nice. Love it. How are you doing, Angela? Are you finding your way?
I'm now choosing my design for my beacon page. And as always, this is the hardest step.
Yeah, can you would you feel okay sharing your screen? I'm so curious to see what you're up to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually just selecting. Let me see if I can share.
Okay, sure.
Okay, here we go. Okay, to the theme. Let's take the dark one. That should be fine. Okay, select this. Reserve the domain. Actually, this was I got stuck here because I felt, should I use my real name? Should I use my Twitter name? What do you think is best?
I think your name ideally is the same on all platforms. So
it isn't. Yeah, but mostly.
This makes it really easy for people to, so let's say they don't right now have the profile that they want to recommend you to someone else with, right? Just go to cancel and say, don't do this. Don't do this.
Okay.
Cancel.
Okay.
No thanks.
Okay, no thanks.
Don't buy anything. You don't have to buy anything to do this.
Okay.
Don't buy.
Main goal today. Skip or
create a link in bio. That is your main goal. You can tell them. It's okay, continue. I guess.
All right. There's a lot to set up here. Maybe something simple.
Yeah. So if you
Where should I start?
Yeah, if you go to link in bio.
I have to verify properly. Okay.
On the left-hand side.
Here.
Yeah, to my pages.
Okay.
This is where you can essentially design the layout of your page. So my recommendation is that we start by adding, essentially, so adding your profile picture, right? Adding the, adding your little bio. Remember, you wrote this, so now's the time to use it, right?
Okay, I should have it here. Maybe it's even, no. Let me see if I can find it swiftly again.
Thank you for sharing. I know this is a courageous thing to do, so thank you.
So this is the bio. Oh, I can't paste. What's wrong? Just for the sake of this exercise, a little.
Yeah.
Location. I'm in Berlin. Okay, social icons. Okay.
Sorry, now everyone knows your personal email address. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is just so spammed. Okay, I just try it with and this should go away. And okay, now I just need a picture. Can I go without it for now? Because
Yes,
again,
of course.
finding the right picture.
No, it's self-explanatory, I think, to a certain degree. You can, for example, on the bottom of this, you can add the LinkedIn page as well, right? So if you choose more platforms, there's like Snapchat, LinkedIn, Pinterest, whatever your wishes desire to put out there, essentially. And
just for the sake of trying. It does not autocomplete because I only know the username.
I think you need to complete URL. Oh wait, I have it open for you. I can just send it to you. Wait, let me put this in the chat for you.
I should be able to find it.
Here you go. Because I already had it open.
Okay, where? Oh, I'm lost. Where's my beacon page?
The one with the white bubbles after webinar.
No, this is this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, give me a second.
Oh, Maximilian, you have tried the store integration. I haven't even tried that one yet. Yeah, the newsletter feature is great. It's a really easy way to set up a newsletter, to be honest. We've looked at many tools because we're like, we need to make this very professional. And then we're like, yeah, but we don't really have a ton of resources to dedicate to this, right? And then, they came around the corner with this new email marketing integration. And sad but truthful, again, email marketing is still the form of marketing that works the best. So, this is so cool. Congratulations. Okay, so Angela has a Beacons profile. Very proud of you. This is great. Okay, cool. I hope some of you have managed to do so as well. Can we see in the chat how you're doing with this? Have you started to set up your Beacons page? There is a little bit of a delay. We're just gonna wait. Okay, this is really great because now it becomes very easy to guide people to your profiles, right? And share content, like really make sure that you also put there is a YouTube integration, for example, that always allows Beacons to pull the last published YouTube video from your channel, right? So if you're doing podcasts or anything like this, make sure you have that in there. If you're, Estefania is like, yeah, I've got it. Then Niels is on his way. Good job, Niels. Just stay strong. I know it's not easy. But yeah, if you really use this to make people aware of the content that you want to guide them to, of your own, the stuff that you have come up with on your own, I think this is really great. And yeah, by the way, Isabel F in the chat, she is the one who actually told me about Beacons. So I'm speaking about Beacons as if this would have been my discovery. It has not been my discovery. She brought this to me and I was like very skeptic because I'm a very stubborn person. I'm always like, no, maybe this is not a good idea. And then she was like, no, look at this. And so I looked at this and I was like, oh damn, this is maybe a really good idea. So yeah, she's the one who brought my attention to it. So I hope this helps you as well. Okay, the last part we definitely want to speak a little bit about, because we're nearing the end of the webinar, is building your audience, right? So there's this one thing, you know, having all of these ingredients set up, but then how to start talking to people. So this is where the platform, the tone of voice, right, according to your archetype, the content pillars come in. These are like your three, I want to say, main ingredients that will help you to really grow your community or your audience in general. It doesn't have to be a community all the time. It can just be an active, you know, audience that wants to go with you on a journey. So here's some things I put together. So like I said, right, platforms, tone of voice, content pillars, everything we've kind of like scratched on before. But here's the downside. It requires consistency in publishing, right, the frequency, consistency in the visual language. So, you know, don't try and design all of your profiles differently just because you're having fun with it. Try to keep it in line with each other, right? This is also why I said to Angela, it would be good if she had the same name everywhere, because it makes it so much easier for people to just randomly look you up. Because this is like when your name pops up, right, and then there's like a bunch of profiles pop up, it's nothing better than that. That's what you want. So if you look my name up, Stella Achenbach, all my profiles pop up. It's really easy to find me. Consistency in the perspective position you take on. So, you know, I know our opinions keep developing and shifting, especially when it comes to token engineering, because there's always a new discovery, and something that you thought was really great last year might not apply this year anymore. So having the awareness of that, maybe also be careful about like being too bold about your statements, right? Sometimes it's healthier to take the middle line and not to be like too extreme. I get this, actually Strada Trader in our token engineering study group keeps telling this to me, and he's absolutely right, because I tend to be sometimes be too strongly opinionated about things, and then I kind of dig my own grave. So don't make the same mistake. It's not worth it. Okay, so here are some ideas in this folder. What are good audience building strategies, right? So one is obviously offering valuable content. So to, you know, the audience you talk to, valuable content might be very different. So make sure you actually know who you're talking to. This is also why interactions matter. So the more you actually see what, you know, people do who are following you, the more you understand what is the kind of content that you can fill. Right? Because, just check. Oh, Niels is happy. Okay. And Niels puts a smiley in the chat, means he has succeeded in setting up his profile, I think. Engage with others in the community kind of relates to the same point. Collaborate with others. So this is something that I highly recommend for both, again, for designers and token engineers alike, right? So on Instagram, you have a feature for that, which is called collaborative posting. We don't really have that right now on Twitter or LinkedIn, which would be really cool to have eventually. But still, if you work on content together, you can help pushing each other, right? So, for example, Angela and Rohan are right now in the middle of preparing everything around their token engineering in combination with AI, right? And you guys have been pushing this for each other. So this is actually a pretty good example. So both of you have been talking on your individual channels about this, tagging each other. Applies the rule of, you know, together we are stronger, essentially. So if you keep doing this, it will really help you. So partner up with people who think about the same things as you, right? Don't be afraid to talk to them, and find something to work on together. It will help you also grow your audience. I know in tech it's difficult. You don't always want to share all of your process, but you can share your process without sharing your process. Meaning, you know, take a random picture of you on your screen, right? I know you guys are probably not like the selfie masters. You don't have to do that. But you could even, a friend of mine who never shows his face, he's a creator, he just took a picture of his iPad on a bench with a view in nature. And he's like, touching grass today. Great, right? You can share these kind of things. Just in your case, it might not be touching grass, or it might not be a set of nature. It might be a whole bunch of empty pizza cartons, in a very dark room, figuring out the next line of code. It might be, But this kind of content, it will make you seem real to people. So don't be afraid to share it. It's part of your journey. Why not let other people take part in it and essentially sympathize with you? Because others will definitely have the same situation going for them, right? And it helps. Participate in online communities such as the Token Engineering Academy, because, well, there's a lot of like-minded people around. That helps. Get involved in the study groups as well. Provide value through email marketing. I told you guys, email marketing, still the tool that works best. We are all living in a future, but email, a tool, from the 90s, still working really great. So yeah, think about this, right? But only if you really have to say something. There's nothing more annoying in this world of, information overflow if you get yet another newsletter that's full of advertisement and lacking content, right? So make sure if you're trying to do this, do it really with purpose. Don't spam people. It's not nice. Leverage paid advertising. It's an opportunity, especially if you're if you're hosting on YouTube. So get into researching that part, because you can make money off of this. I'm not saying you're going to get rich, right? But advertising, paid advertising in YouTube is a good resource. Yeah. So these are some strategies. I think we're really pushing it if we're going any further, because I think you guys are very tired already. So I'd rather go to. So here are some exercises, right? So make sure you have a look at them. It's the same as the first one we did. It's very guided, so don't be afraid. And also, if you have questions, I told you my name is very searchable. Just ping me, okay? It's fine. But I just wanted to quickly go and see if there's like more in the chat, because I saw some stuff popping up. Like Twitter Blue. Oh, verification on profiles. Well, truth is, if you have a paid profile, the algorithm does take more interest in you. It is true. Do I think it's necessarily a thing you need to do? I don't think so. I've accumulated my, I want to say, pretty strong following on Instagram, for example, without a verification mark, right? So I don't think you have to do this. First, experiment, figure out who you are and who you want to be as you grow, right? And then once you have reached a certain threshold, you can start thinking about this. But before that, keep it easy and keep it like down to the roots. Don't pay unnecessarily, okay? I know it's tempting, and some people will tell you, oh, it's improved my performance by so much, right? But I have tested this now with my own profile versus Alana's profile on Twitter, and I have to say Alana is still doing better, because Alana does frequent posting. Alana does very, has all of these well-prepared visuals. And it's it does much better than my own profile, and my own profile has the Twitter blue check mark. So don't get tempted by this, at least not in the first instance, okay? Okay, what else? Sonia, Angela, can you share a platform where I can follow your work on? Oh, Muhammad asks if you can share a platform where he can follow your work on AI and token engineering.
I just did, and then I thought, oh, it would be good to have a link aggregator, because there are several channels. Okay, but for now, I shared the YouTube, where we share recordings of presentations.
This is the mindset, though. Really good job. This is exactly the mindset you need now. That cliche, like the one we gave yesterday at the Trusted Seed AI Unconference. Stella, please, can you tell us where we can find the updates on algorithms of these platforms? I can try and find them for you, but honestly, there is a ton of articles on these things always, whenever they come out, whenever they are being published. So just say something like Twitter algorithm, how it works, 2023, and you will be fine. There will be a lot of stuff popping up, and you will very soon know what to look at. But I can try and find some of them for you and put them in the board as well. So no problems, no problems. Yeah, I think we're coming to an end. I just want to bring some awareness to, if you like this webinar and if you found it useful, right? I would be super happy if you guys were, and here's the way of doing this. You can spread the word and say like, hey, we found this webinar. It was actually really cool. I recommend going to the next one or check out this one, right? So that's helpful. The other way, if you want to go that far, again, only if you can spare the money, right? You can donate, and it's like around $10. And you can get this NFT badge, which is actually animated, and this is the link for it. Niels is like, let's click the link. And yeah, I would really, obviously, everyone in the Alana project would totally appreciate this, but it's not a must. You do have access to this, to these resources no matter what. But yeah, if you want to say thanks, that would be the way to do it.
Please drop the link again, Stella.
Yeah, I just did. I just did.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks.
I just did. I will also pick out a few of your questions after we close the webinar and put like questions and answers in here. So to kind of recap on our session today. So, Angela, how are you feeling? You feel like a social media pro now?
Yeah, at least in theory. Now I have to put all this in practice, but this was super valuable. Thank you so much, Stella. And I'd love to see now how everyone's social media profiles skyrocket, everyone in the call.
Same, I'm really looking forward to it. So don't feel afraid about tagging me when you kind of officially announce your profiles to the world, right? Just tag me and be like, hey Stella, can you take a look at this? Like I would love to see what you guys come up with and how you put these things to work. This is always the most rewarding thing about doing a webinar. So yeah. Okay. Mario has already shared with the Spanish community. Muchas gracias, Mario. Muy amable. And Monica, where can I watch the webinar again? Oh yeah, this is a live. It's being recorded, so it's going to be available after it's being decoded, I think, and just a bit of a time on Alana's YouTube channel. And it will also contain the link to this board, so you're fine. You're all set in case you need to review. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really nice doing this with you guys. And yeah, I hope you liked it. Bravo to 100%. My guinea pig.
Thank you so much.
Woo.
Thank you, Stella.
Thank you for being the test bunny in this case.